Thank you. So it's Nuance. It's Nuance Communications, not Nuance Tech. I will talk about voice biometric technology, but let me start with something interesting which happens every day. We call the call centers and reach out to the agents in the bank or in an insurance company. There are a lot of frauds that we come across every day, but let me take you through some very interesting fraud which keep happening under our eyes and we don't get to know it. So what happens is that everybody has that friend, that agent who calls you when your policy is about to renew in a bank, your insurance policy which is about to renew, and he tells you that I know about your policy, I know about your premium that you have to pay, but here is what which is something new, which is much better for you, and you should take that. So I have that friend, and he's been calling me for the last 10 years, and I have been just trusting him. But the question is that how does he know? How does he know that my policies are for renewal? Obviously, he was the one who came to me, filled all the forms. He was the one who know what is my address, what is my registered email ID, because he was the one who was filling the form for me. I just signed that form when he came from an insurance, as an insurance agent. So he has all the information. But the decision lies with me, of course, whether I want to change my policy or not. But what happens if he gives a very convincing argument that your insurance is, your cover is this much, but for the same price or maybe less, you will get a much better insurance and all the benefits will be passed on to this policy. Sounds very convincing. So how does he do it? How he knows that what's going on with my policy with the bank? Because he has all the information. Today I call an insurance company, and so maybe it's not me, it's my agent who calls as me, and he says that my name is Deepak, and I want to talk about this policy. So what does the premium do? And because he knows all the knowledge questions, he knows all the answers to the knowledge questions, because he was the one who filled the form. So he just passed through all the security measures, and then he takes care, gets all the details about my policy, the current state, how much premium is due, when it is due, and how much I'm covered for. And then, since he's an agent, he calls me the other day and say, see, I know everything about your policy, this is what you bought from me, but I have another option for you. If you go from this company to this company, with a less premium, you'll get a better cover. And that's how the poaching happens. So under our eyes, there are a lot of people who are losing business. I met a lot of people over the day today, and everybody resonated with the same fact that yes, the fraud is happening. And if you see that, as per the statistics we found out, in fact this was an independent research done by Infinity, they found out that one out of every 2,500 calls in a financial institution is actually a fraud call, which is actually a very staggering number, knowing the number of calls which come to the bank or to an insurance company every day. And when the fraud happens, who is responsible for that fraud? Is it the customer? Maybe in my case, the customer was not even involved, and maybe the example that I gave is not even a fraud, it's just a business loss. But who is held responsible for this? Is it the customer? I don't think so. You cannot really, you can hold him responsible, but I don't think the court of law can actually hold him responsible. So can we do something about it? Can we do something that if anybody is calling a bank or calling a insurance company and still telling all the knowledge questions which are right, there is no doubt in the answers which he has given, but still the organization comes to know that he's not the one, you're not talking to the right person. So actually it is possible. So we have really changed the game. We have been in this industry for the last 20 years. We understand the voice, and we are the leaders which understand this intelligence system. We have almost 14 billion, more than 14 billion customer engagements that we manage per year. And we have more than 20 years of experience, 6,500 organizations are with us. How do we do it? So we started with understanding, we enable the machine to understand what the customer is saying. So we started with just as basic as that for savings bank, for savings account, please say savings. So that is known as a directed dialogue. The machine is directing the customer to say something, exactly what they want to hear. So he says savings. Then we started understanding the natural conversation. The customer calls and he says that to the machine that I want to operate my savings bank account balance, or I want to know my premium due date for an insurance company. So we started understanding the natural conversations. We don't really want a customer to say a specific word. If we're able to understand what the customer is saying, we were able to understand the intent also. Post that, we used to put the customer in a perfect queue, saves time, a lot of IVR, saves your telecom cost. But now what we have done is, now we not only understand what the customer is saying, but we now also know, is that customer the same customer or is somebody else? Is it an imposter or is it the same customer? I'll take you through that. So I'll introduce you to voice biometric. What does voice biometric mean? So your voice, a human voice can be divided into, in fact, more than 100 parameters. And the major two buckets in which they fall is the behavioral characteristics and the physical characteristics. So if I try to imitate your voice as an imposter, I can imitate your behavioral characteristics, how you speak, what is your accent, how do you speak certain words, where do you emphasize. I can understand those parts. But to create that voice, your voice, I will use my own vocal tract. I will use my own physical characteristics, my own, my mouth shape, my nasal passage. I'll use all this. So when we divide the voice into these 100 parameters, we ensure that these characteristics are taken care of. So when a person is imitating, the person can imitate the behavior, but he cannot imitate the physical characteristics. If we reverse it, suppose if you have a flu, if you have cold, you're not able to speak properly, still your behavior remains same, but your physical characteristics might change. So that's how we understand the voice, and we take it to the next level. Now, I gave you an example of the agent, that when the call comes to an agent, we will know who's, whether it's a genuine customer or not. But even on an IVR, you can call an IVR, and IVR will, instead of, once you put your TPIN and everything, and once you want to do some self-service on the IVR, then the question arises, do you really want to enable all self-services, or you want to still pass it on to the agent? The question is, why do you want to pass it on to the agent? To be more secure. So if we enable the voice biometric on the IVR, then your self-service channel further increases, and your agent, the number of agents also get contained, I would say, not increase at that level. We have been working on this technology for, I think, last 5 years now. We have almost 40% of the global financial institutions, which this is this year's figure. So they're already adapting to the voice biometric technology. We recently went live with one of the major banks in India, ICICI Bank. They just came out with a press release. So now when you call as a customer of ICICI Bank, they announce it that we will identify you through your voice. So they will capture your voice print when you call for the first time. And next time when you call, they will know that whether it's you or it's somebody else. Then, as per the reports, we also feel that in the next 5 years, we will cover almost all the financial institutions for the voice biometric. So actually the time is now. Some of our global references, obviously ICICI is the first bank in India who adopted, but there are a lot of global banks who are with us for quite some time. Barclays has been doing it, ING has been doing it. Citigroup is also utilizing it for their US operations. We recently went live with a Mexican bank, Santander, and a lot of savings that they're achieving. Now, is it just security or is it something else? Definitely it is something else. It is creating a lot of value for your organization. How it is creating is that you get it right for the first time. If you don't give a right answer on any channel, be it an IVR or a mobile app or an internet banking, it gets locked, and then frustration starting to mount up. If it's a genuine customer, he might forget his PINs. He might not remember the PINs. So How he can get it right from the first time is with his voice. His voice is not going to change, and we will know that it's the same customer. It will also reduce your operational cost, because now a lot of people today call for their PIN resets. They call the bank and the agent goes through the entire process. Some of the banks don't even allow the PIN reset on the call center. They allow it, you have to go to the bank and fill the form and do all those things, but customers really don't like it. So it reduces, because those call volumes we can reduce. Now you don't have to remember your PIN, your voice is your password. So your voice is same, you won't even have to remember. Sometimes you can ask, the bank can even ask, or an insurance company can even ask upfront on the IVR, please say your password. Like for, say for ICICI, you can say that at ICICI my voice is my password. Now if it's you, then only you go through. If it's not you, then it goes to the agent. Otherwise, you can do a lot of self-service, so your agent cost is also contained. Of course, it's a dilemma. I mean, it's a really lot of brand value. Your financial institution identifies you through your voice. So that is something which is a very differentiated brand value, a very different customer experience it will bring out. A lot of customers love it. I mean, as per, again, the Infinity research, we found out that more than 81% of the people who came to know about this technology, they really wanted to go ahead and doing this. So that's a very encouraging figure. We also simplify the customer service operations. We don't really trouble the agents also, because agents have not to worry about whether the customer is genuine. Should I ask 5 questions, or am I going to ask 4 questions or 3 questions? That decision will be taken care based on the metrics that we design. And today contact center is more of a cost center, but with this kind of technology you can really focus on the business without worrying about the identification, identifying the customer, whether it's a genuine customer or not. Especially that insurance sector that I spoke about. Today there's a lot of poaching happens in the insurance sector. Every time when the renewal is going to happen, it's not certain that the customer is going to renew the policy again. And by the time the insurance company reaches the customer, maybe the policy has already, the decision has been made, because his good friend already told him that, you know what, if you go with this policy, you will get better benefits and all. And then that the whole call from the actual organization, it's all discounted. So this is how we can prevent the fraud. So this is the time we really need to understand that how it works, how it can work in different use cases. I just gave you one example of a use case, but there could be many use cases. We are working with on the IVRs, we are identifying customers on the IVRs, we are identifying customers while they speak to the agent. Agent gets to know that whether it's the right customer or not. So it's the time we change the game. And I wanted to keep it really short because I think I'm the last presenter, but I hope I made my point. If there are any more questions, please let me know. Yes, sir.
You rightly gave the example of, I'm just using that as a that example.
Yeah.
It's like that if it's not, if the voice is not recognized, it goes to the agent.
Yeah.
Or you choose the option, one of the two.
It can be.
Yeah. So typically a fraudster will never look at going through the voice route.
Mm-hmm.
You always go through the agent because he or she will always have the data to break through the security questions.
Right, right.
So from that perspective, looking from the corporate side, will this piece of technology be more of an efficiency software or an efficiency application or actually a fraud prevention application?
See, both. If I see from where I see it, it's actually both. Because one is efficiency because it's saving a lot of time for the customer, saving the pain of remembering a lot of pins for a genuine customer. But at the same time, it can prevent a lot of fraud because, as you rightly mentioned, if I'm talking to the agent without verifying myself on this voice, then I will answer all those questions. Now today, what are those questions? Those questions are actually very simple. I mean, I was surprised. Just last weekend, I called a very big bank for my credit card, and I just gave 2 answers: my billing address, my date of birth. and they gave me the complete history of my credit card.
So that's precisely what I'm asking. So then, this is more of a efficiency application than a fraud prevention application.
No, but had it been the voice thing also going on, the agent would have checked whether it's me, is it Deepak who is actually trying to check the information, or it's somebody else. So they didn't have that feature.
I'm sure the fraudster is doing his or her homework before he or she is trying to penetrate the call center.
Yeah, exactly.
I
So,
have a
for
question.
example, today, sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, I mean, just a valid risk
Yes.
actually.
Yes,
The agent who know my information can also record my voice and replay
absolutely.
using mobile.
Right.
So that was number one. And number two, if I being a genuine customer, where obviously my 60-year-old old mom will not have a policy that she will walk into. I'll
Right.
do it on her behalf,
Right.
on my wife's behalf,
Right.
and my kids' behalf. So what happens in that case? Multiple times I interact.
Okay, so first question, which was regarding the playback. Somebody records your voice while you are enrolling, and then he plays back in the second time. So we have this feature. There is a playback detect, because without that feature, we cannot really come on record and talk about this. So as I said, we divide the voice into more than 100 parameters based on physical and behavioral characteristics. Now what will happen in the recorded voice is that all those parameters of your voice print will be 100% same. So when you call next time, it will be actually 100% match of the voice print which was there in the system. So even that is the vulnerable. We don't really allow that. So it's very simple. I mean, it looked a little difficult initially, but it's very simple. Yes, sir.
You have this system for master review.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any past policies?
Yes. See, there is a trade-off between false positive and false negative. So we call it as false accept, like it's a wrong person who got accepted, or in false reject, that it was actually the right person but we still rejected. Now how do we balance this out? It depends upon the type of query. We don't really want to, if somebody has really a sore throat and he's not able to speak properly, then certain parameters of his physical characteristics of the voice will get deteriorated. The overall score will come low, but then we need to strategize that what kind of query is he asking. Suppose if he calls a bank just for after the verification, he's just asking for a checkbook. So that's not very critical. But when it comes to a transaction, then we will again latch back to the traditional method. We will indicate that, okay, this customer seems genuine. And for the agent, we have made it very simple. We don't give any scores to the agent. We give just the colors. If it's a red light, the red indication on the screen, then agent has to ask all the questions. If it's a yellow light, then agent knows that, okay, this is somewhat near to the threshold that we have defined, but we still might ask one question. And if it's green light, it's just two. So we designed this, this is the matrix that we designed together with how the bank or insurance company wants to do it. Yes, sir, please.
So just take me back from, take me further from where we left.
Yes.
I just want to know whether your software is running, do validations on a concurrent basis, even as IVR is happening. Does it also, check the voice metrics what you are talking about?
Yes. This is actually real time. This is real time. So when you call,
So you don't have a choice like, you can go for an IVR option or for voice recognition.
No. So we do it, yeah, right. So we do it two ways. Either we do it on the IVR also, if you want to really increase the self-service, or we can do it while the call is being transferred to the agent. So when the call is transferred to the agent, what we do is that one voice stream goes to the agent, another voice stream comes to our system. And on the real-time basis, we indicate to the agent that whether it's a genuine customer or not. Yes.
So may I request that since we have to also start the next panel,
Yeah, it's actually very,
I think the questions are welcome, but if I just can request you to park them for now, we'll start the panel discussion and then address those questions as well as we progress on. Is that okay?
Yeah, I'm around. In fact, we're just outside, so just let us know. Any one last question, if we can take just one last
Yeah, I
question?
just wanted to
Yes,
know the enrollment process, how difficult it is and what are the challenges?
So, if you want to do it on the IVR, like if you want to authenticate the customer from voice on the IVR, then customer has to be part of the entire process of enrollment, where you will, after verifying the customer, the agent has to tell the customer that we have this new technology, so you will have to register. So agent comes and register. So for any bank, say for this, it can be any password, which is by the way common for
Don't
all.
you come back to the same issue which is there with the high risk verifiers then, because he's going to give you the same high risk verifiers to enroll, right?
So that depends upon the bank, because we really cannot, so first time enrollment, it has to be certain. If you are certain that it's the same customer, then only we can. From the next time, you might not ask all those 10 questions. So, but once if you ask those 10 questions, the customer can really go ahead and enroll. In fact, you can tell the customer that we have asked you all this question, we understand it's a little difficult. How about you just enroll yourself, and next time you're not going to ask as many questions. So that's one way. Second way is, when the call gets transferred to the agent, and once agent verifies it's a genuine customer, the system automatically starts stiffing the voice packets and creates a voice print. It's a non-intrusive kind of technology where customer don't know that this is happening. And next time when he calls, same way, customer is speaking and agent will get to know whether it's a genuine customer or not. That's how we do it. Alright?
So what is the first time this calling your customer? Is the first time that
Excuse me, sorry, I have to request you to ask your question for now because we have to start the next panel. Otherwise, we'll be delayed in starting that one. So let's
Let's catch up.
Please catch up outside and take it off. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Deepak.
Thank you.